Privacy fears in this country are spiking, with Americans searching for tools to increase their anonymity online 1 million times a month.
Ooh, so this is something people want. On your sides, Christine Lajar shows us how one woman is taking control of her online footprint. I didn't even know it was an option to take control of your online footprint, Christine.
Well, there are many tools out there, more and more, as we see more and more data breaches. We've all experienced that, right? You go to the mail, you get a letter, it tells you there's been a data breach. A lot of times it's been months since that breach, even years, has happened, and you think to yourself, well, what of mine is out there? We'll do a simple Google search of yourself, and you'll see how much is out there.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, well, sometimes ignorance is bliss, but not in this case. So here in California, there were more than 140,000 identity theft complaints last year. That's according to the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, with victims collectively losing more than $690 million. We talked to one consumer who's willing to spend some money to protect herself. Have you found your wedding dress?
No, I have not yet.
Candace is getting married next year and spends a lot of time online planning her wedding. She worries that increased online activity makes her personal information more vulnerable. She asked us not to use her last name, no surprise here, for privacy reasons.
Because I work in the tech industry, I know what is happening online. I know the companies that aggregate data, how that data gets passed from one company to another. Once I could start finding my own information about myself, like just Googling my name in a search bar, it really scared me.
In the second quarter of 2025, nearly 94 million records were leaked in data breaches worldwide, opening up consumers to identity theft and privacy concerns. Cell phone-initiated scams, from fake toll road text messages to IRS and Social Security hoaxes, increased 50% last year, according to cybersecurity firm Kaspersky.
Americans' identity is being compromised every 22 seconds.
Arjun Bhatnagar is the CEO of a consumer privacy company called Cloaked. It scans and monitors the internet and uses AI to clean up your online footprint by identifying where your data has been exposed and then removing it. But that's not all.
And then we move towards protecting you in the future with what we say is a new identity. So we create emails, phone numbers, passwords, and soon even credit cards for every website or person you meet, so you don't have to actually give information.
Cloak works like a password manager, so you don't have to remember those unique identifiers for each website you visit. Any calls or emails back are then routed to your real phone number and email address. Bhatnagar calls it data poisoning, meaning you're tricking the internet into not knowing who you really are.
If you start giving a different piece of data, it poisons the well, because it's not very clear to an automated system, well, what's the actual piece of data? And so that's where you start disrupting these learning algorithms, learning systems, by changing the way you share.
Candace has been using Cloaked.
So right here, it says 6 records removed, and that's today alone?
Yeah, so basically there's 6 different pieces of my information that they scrubbed off of some type of site or a multitude of sites.
And she uses a different identity for each of the wedding websites or services she signs up for.
So do you feel like since you started doing this, it's cut down on the amount of spam texts, phone calls, emails?
Yes, definitely. I would say for sure the identities are perfect for email masking and limiting the number of spam emails.
Candace says as she starts a new life with her husband and eventually kids, she hopes she can leave behind her old data footprint.
I'm not just protecting myself anymore. I'm protecting for everyone who comes after me, my legacy. And that's what's become really important.
Cloak costs $10 to $20 a month, but if you don't want to pay for a service, Apple's latest update includes a call screening feature that automatically screens calls for numbers that you've never texted or called before. AT&T and Verizon are also unveiling better technology to stop those spam calls. And, I would love to go back a decade and rein in what's out there about me on the internet. But, I found it so interesting that if you start using something like Cloaked and you really kind of throw out a bunch of different phone numbers and emails associated with you, it poisons, the lot, and eventually the true information about you becomes kind of hidden.
Oh, well, that's good
So there
to know.
are things that you can do, and there's other services like Cloak that you can also use. So we have power, we just have to know about it and use it.
And use it, that's, I'll actually have to get on top of that
Me
later
too.
today.
Definitely good to know,
It's easier to
Christine.
just sit back and say, I don't want to talk about
Right.
it, but then you become a victim and you're like, I wish I would have.
Exactly. Christine, thank you.